This is another item I thought went very nice. This is an original Penton banner. How much is it? We pay a good coin to have ours made. This had 3 bids. And this is an original. This sold for 150 bucks. Go out and try to have it made, and you're going to spend about 150 bucks. This is a headlight shell. I forgot to ask my brother. This is actually, it says it's jack pine. This does not have, it has the hole for the Speedo, but it has a German cover.
That's a small bullet headlight.
It's a small bullet headlight, but it's CEV.
That's a tachometer. There's a cover over that, and that is how they were on the bottom.
But Jeff, don't they have a flat spot, the early steel tanks, by the Speedo on the headlight shell? If you take out the headlight, you told me that there was something you had to always watch out for. Yeah, flattened off. There's a flat spot. This is rounded at the top. So this was just a headlight shell that somebody probably had on their bike or used, because I've seen a number of these, because when I was helping him find one for a bike he's working on, I ran across these. So this was probably used, or the guy had it on a Penton, but I don't believe it's, the switch though is something, period. It's just a pull out.
As I remember, there were a number of different European brands that used that exact
Correct.
same bezels.
Correct.
The framework was always similar.
Yes.
I can't tell you which ones came out which. I have no
But this had 6 bids and $46. We've seen exhausts go for some pretty good coin. This is a 70s era Penton 125 exhaust in mediocre shape. Not great, not bad, but pretty good exhaust. This had 1 bid. It sold for $79.95. We saw these things go, same condition, for over $300 plus. 32 millimeter forks. Nothing great. This is actually not a bad deal. This had 2 bids, $79.95. Granted, nobody likes to run the 32s, but if you've got a bike that has them and they're bent, that's really not a bad price. Here's something else we've seen. Penton tank, aluminum, really nice. Couple small things, not bad for 30-some years, so on and so forth. Had 2 bids. And we've seen tanks like this, similar condition, go for $400 on up. This one sold for 250 bucks. Well, bad for the seller also, because he's also paying a fee to eBay, and he has to do all this and this and that. You could buy that tank at Vintage Days, and not have the. I mean, you can pick it up there. Usually eBay, you see the prices go up. 35 millimeter forks. Now everybody else and their brother, other than is looking for 35 millimeters. Not just Penton owners. You got the road race guys, everything else. These sold. These had 14 bids. These sold for $294.92. That's not a bad price anymore. This time. Another, I thought, a giveaway price. Here's a 1973 48th ICT run. Only had 2 bids and sold for $10.50. Is a pin. That's the another one that I saw was pretty neat, and it didn't sell for anything. A 1974 Moditalia ICT. It has about the ICT. It's an Italian magazine. Had only 1 bid. Did you buy this? Should have.
It was a preview. I looked at. He had the pictures of the stuff. I looked at it.
Yeah.
Free something.
Yeah, it sold for $3.99. Now, there wasn't a whole lot of high-end stuff and such like this, but gear, and I even watched some of the high point stuff. I look at other stuff. Everybody says, well, how expensive Penton stuff is, and so on and so forth. I talked about BMW stuff. That stuff is outrageous. A BMW ISDT or a 6 days clock will set you back $3,500, $4,000 if you can find one. Well, everybody and their brother needs one of these. Now, this is a 50s era. This is what John would have ran or did run, and this is a very nice Bell helmet. This had, and you got to remember, in that era, everybody that rode or had a stock car or raced motorcycles, go-karts, or who knows what, they all want to collect this. I wish I had a few of these in my garage. This is very nice. This had 15 bids. It sold for $3,061. And this just sold on February 4th. This is not abnormal. I've seen there's another one, another Bell helmet that sold for about $2,000. Now, a 60, that's a 50s, and a 60s helmet will sell for about $500 to $600. It just depends on the helmet, how nice it is, but you got to remember all the different, it's like pocket knives and knives. You have knives collectors, but if you have one that's like an old Boy Scout, you got the Boy Scout collectors. You got one that's in with the trains. Those guys are collecting them. With helmets, you have the stock car guys. I mean, if somebody has a race car from back in the 50s that it goes to the auctions or whatever, and spends $300,000 on a stock car, and they want that little piece of memorabilia to go with it, they're going to pay. So that's probably what's driving up some of these things. But I saw that, I watched it, I'm like, I wonder how much that's going to go for. So that's about it for the month. I mean, but we have seen a definite decrease in some of the Penton prices.
I have my helmet from 1971. I bought it at Kmart for $19.95. The inside of that helmet, like with Filtron filters and stuff, the foam, it's all like just turns into sand. Why wouldn't that helmet be all deteriorated internally?
The interior of this helmet, when I took a look at it, was not perfect. It was slightly, but it was generally, it was in a closet, had been used. It wasn't like pristine it had been used, but it was in very, very nice shape. But it doesn't matter. There was a Bell that sold that was from the 60s, later 60s, 69 to be exact, that the foam is gone. But the guys want them, they want them just to put on the shelf.
The helmet that I always wanted was the Bell Magnum. I think it came in white or like a silver color. That was like a $50 helmet back.
It's a lot madder zero now.
Yeah.
I was just going to say, I've sold 7 Bell helmet 3-snap visors that they go for outrageous prices, and it seemed like everybody that bought them was in the country of